Imagine seeing an injured owl lying helpless on the roadside. What would you do? Most people might walk away, but one young woman chose to fight for its life. What happened next turned into a story of trust, love, and an unbelievable bond you won't forget. This is the story of a girl named Jasmine, a girl with a huge heart for animals. She never just watched animals suffer, she acted to help them. Jasmine runs a small animal rescue clinic called Wild at Heart in Mississippi, where she and her team care for injured and abandoned creatures. Over the years, she had helped many animals, from tiny birds to injured dogs, and each rescue had taught her something new. One sunny afternoon, Jasmine received a call that made her heart race. A passerby had seen a large owl lying on the roadside, badly hurt and unable to move. It was clear the bird had been in a serious accident, probably hit by a car. Without wasting a moment, Jasmine gathered her team and rushed to the scene, knowing this rescue could be one of the hardest she had ever faced. When they reached the scene, the owl was in terrible shape. She lay on the roadside, barely moving, and it was clear she had been through a serious accident. The team knew there was nothing they could do there, so they carefully lifted her and carried her back to the clinic. Every step felt heavy, but they knew time was critical. At the clinic, a thorough checkup revealed heartbreaking news. Rory, as they later named her, had a massive concussion, severe head trauma, infections, and even parasites. The staff could hardly believe she was still alive. Some jokingly called her Aurora because of her large size and majestic presence, but everyone felt the seriousness of her condition. They knew saving her would take everything they had. Jasmine entrusted Rory's care to Drake, the clinic's most experienced caretaker. Drake had a rare gift for connecting with birds of prey and was known as the Birds of Prey Whisperer. Owls were strong, moody, and could be aggressive when scared or hurt. Only someone patient and gentle could handle them. Drake began tending to Rory immediately, feeding her carefully, cleaning her wounds, and watching over her every move. The process was slow and exhausting. During the first few weeks, Rory lost nearly a fifth of her body weight, but Drake never gave up. Because Drake knew the only thing that could heal Rory was special care. He devoted himself completely to her. At first, Rory was wary, keeping her distance and watching him closely. But slowly, she began to trust him. She allowed him to feed her, talk to her, and handle her gently. Each small step felt like a quiet victory. Jasmine watched the bond grow and knew it was something rare. For a bird that had been so scared and hurt, letting a human in was almost impossible. Yet Rory seemed to understand Drake wanted to help her. Every day, Rory showed tiny signs of progress. She ate a little more, lifted her head, and even flapped her wings slightly. Drake stayed by her side for hours, talking softly and encouraging her. Jasmine supported him, amazed at the connection he had built. The staff could see that Rory wasn't just surviving. She was learning to trust again. Each moment of her recovery lifted everyone's spirits and gave hope that she would soon be strong again. After some weeks, one of the biggest milestones finally arrived. Rory managed to stand on her own. Everyone in the clinic gathered to see it, and the room filled with smiles. For the first time, it truly felt like she might survive. Drake stayed close by, watching every small movement, proud, but also cautious. He knew her body was still weak, and the road to full recovery was far from over. Then, unexpectedly, Drake received terrible news. His mother had fallen seriously ill, and he needed to return to Michigan immediately. The timing crushed him. The thought of leaving Rory when she was still so fragile weighed heavily on his heart. Yet he had no choice. Before leaving, he placed Rory's care in Jasmine's hands, trusting her completely and promising he would return as soon as possible. But the moment Drake left, everything changed. Rory grew restless, her mood darkened, and she refused to eat as much. The staff tried to comfort her, but it was clear she missed him. No one could replace the bond she had formed with Drake. For a bird that had trusted no one, she had given her heart to him, and his absence left her lost. Luckily, Drake didn't stay long in Michigan. When his mother regained his health, Drake hurried back to the clinic, eager to see Rory again. His return was nothing short of magical. The moment he walked through the doors, Rory's entire behavior changed. She recognized him instantly and couldn't contain her excitement. She hopped around, flapped her wings, and let out sharp calls as if she was welcoming him home. As Drake stepped closer to her cage, Rory immediately perched on his arm. She bobbed her head, bounced happily, and made soft sounds that the staff had never heard from her before. Then something truly extraordinary happened. Rory leaned forward and rested her head gently on Drake's shoulder. The staff stood in silence, stunned at the sight. Adult great horned owls rarely show affection. Yet here was Rory showing it openly. In that quiet moment, Drake wrapped his arms around her. To everyone's amazement, Rory spread her wings wide, almost like she was hugging him back. It was a rare, powerful display of trust and love. The scene was captured in photos and quickly went viral online. People everywhere were touched by the bond between Drake and Rory. Experts called it unprecedented, and for Drake, it felt deeply personal. He recalled his childhood, when a great horned owl often perched on his family's barn roof. His father would always call the kids to watch, creating a memory that never left him. Now, standing with Rory, that memory had come full circle. Years later, after Drake's father passed away, something unforgettable happened. The same great horned owl returned to the family farm. It landed quietly, sat still for a moment, and looked straight into Drake's eyes. Then, just as silently as it had come, the owl spread its wings and flew off, never to be seen again. That moment left a deep mark on Drake's heart. Meeting Rory years later and experiencing her trust and affection brought those memories rushing back. It reminded him of his father and of the rare connections in life that stay with us forever. Meanwhile, Rory's recovery was steady but challenging. Drake and Jasmine watched closely as she slowly regained her strength. She learned to eat on her own again, managed to stand longer each day, and eventually began flying short distances inside the safety of the clinic. Each step forward was celebrated by the entire team. It wasn't just healing, it was proof of her incredible will to live. After several months, the day everyone had been waiting for finally arrived. Rory was strong enough to return to the wild. The clinic prepared for her release with both joy and sadness. They had poured their hearts into saving her, but they knew she didn't belong in a cage. They drove her back to the very place where she had been found. When they opened her cage, Rory didn't rush away. Instead, she spread her wings and soared upward, circling above them as if to say goodbye. She lingered in the sky, showing she remembered the people who had fought for her life. Drake and Jasmine stood there with tears in their eyes, their hearts full. They knew the bond with Rory was real and lasting. After one final glance, Rory disappeared into the horizon, free at last. Looking back, Jasmine often says Rory's story was about more than rescue. It was about patience, trust, and the unspoken bond between humans and animals. For Drake, it proved something he always believed, that love and care given with patience can heal even the deepest wounds. Rory's journey from broken to free became a living symbol of hope and perseverance,